people I was gonna do.
Oh, I guess now it's recording. That's outrageous. I thought it was
Oh,
like, well,
oh,
long story short, I guess it's good. It's a good thing because now we passed all the jets. Welcome to GZ Truth News. It's August 10th, 2023. We have a new guest on the show, known as Neo, formerly known as Hori. And, just to give you a little intro, pretty much you had a lot of enlightening experiences happen in your life. And I guess maybe your life changed for the better for it. And I guess let's just start off with that. Thank you for coming on and tell us what's happening.
yeah. There's been a lot of synchronicities that's happened along this journey that I've been on. That's led me to believe that I mean, I'm on the right path, and Spirit has told me to go on this particular journey to the beach. It started with me losing my job, but not so much because of anything I did. It was just like a Spirit told me my career was going to end and told me why, and it made sense. I have to walk a straighter path than what I was doing because I'm on more of like a path to perfection, I guess, if you will. And I was a video commercial creator, so standing behind products and selling products I didn't know about, or didn't care about, it wasn't quite the way I could survive anymore. And so Spirit's kind of like whipped me onto this path of not being able to afford my place of being, and thrusted me into homelessness. But it told me where to go. It's been telling me for a year and a half to go to the beach, and so now I'm on that. I'm at the beach. Um, I'm at the beach in here in Virginia, and the things that have happened to me out here have been really mind blowing. Before I got to Virginia, I ended up from Louisiana, where I started, ended up in Texas with a friend, kind of an intermediate couple of months. And then I went to the beach in Florida first. I worked at a vape shop for a few months for a friend of a friend, really. And I worked for free and I stayed in the vape shop. I worked for like 14 hours a day for no pay, just slept in the vape shop at night just to help somebody that was, oh my God, long story, going through a ton of stuff. Um, 5 businesses crashing with no employees, and her house is a disaster. Some kind of ex destroyed it, whatever. And I was helping this lady out because God told me to go to the beach, and the door that opened up from Texas was a phone call. When I was leaving Texas, the phone call was like, "Hey, I got this friend. She needs help. I think you can help her, and she happens to be at the beach, 5 minutes like from the beach." So that's why I took that path from Texas. Um, when I was at that beach, it so happened that a 20-year ex of mine, my ex fiance from high school, managed to actually reconnect with me in that experience. So, like, had I not gone to the beach, I would not have been able to be. What ended up was that she was in Mississippi. Something happened. She was walking down the street, and her little cousin that lives in Florida was visiting out there in Mississippi and happened to see her and literally take her from the streets where she lived all the way to Florida and say, "You're going to start a new life out here." So it was a very strange scenario that got my ex all the way over to Florida, 2 hours from me. It was just divine like thing. And anyway, when she found out I was so close, she wanted to see me again. And then she wanted to date me again. So long story short, that blew up very quickly. But I needed it. I had held that door open for this girl for so long, and I couldn't close it. And I got to close it. Like Spirit was like, "You want her back? Well, okay, here it is. This is that experience." And so that was one of the major things that happened here. I got to close that door after that breakup. And now what I'm doing after leaving, I ended up leaving Florida to go to Virginia. A door that opened up right after that breakup was a phone call from somebody that said, "Hey, I know you're going through some stuff now. Why don't you come to Virginia Beach?" And he didn't have a clue that I was, spiritually trying to be at any beach at all. So it was again another God opened a beach door again. So I
Mm-hmm.
walked through it.
Hmm.
And this is where the journey really begins to take its most profound effect. I have learned so much being on the streets, being homeless, figuring out how to live, figuring out how to just charge stuff and eat and like where to use the bathroom. Like all these things are really hard to do when you have no consistent, safe place that you're and comfortable place. Then the cops mess with you. Then there's people that you befriend that won't go away, like so to speak. Like you can't be alone out here. It's very weird that in a way there's a lot of camaraderie, but at the same time I'm learning as a spiritual creature that if I'm gonna keep my vibe, my high vibe, I can't I cannot have certain people around me. And I didn't realize this before because usually it was my family or something that would be around me. But being out here, it's in your face, the elements, the people, strangers, constant strangers. I'm like right here on the boardwalk. There's like probably 1,000 people and more that pass me up. 1,000 new faces a day, every day. I wake up on a park bench out here at the beachfront. I'll show you where I'm at if you could see. There's hotels lined up everywhere.
Mhm.
Hotels all the way up and down this whole boardwalk. And the beach is right there. And I sleep on these benches. Not that one. Not that one in particular. Got another jet, jeez.
But in general. Right. Okay. And so how long have you been on the streets?
Wow. Sorry about that. Can't do anything about those. So anyway, the journey's been it's I call it growth at life speed because I've learned so much. Uh, I'm like the computer nerd going out into the world like this. It's completely out of my shell.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I have no fear. That's an element of this that never was a real thing. But along this journey, the first time I had actual fear, I could call it, like I did have it one time. I was walking through the neighborhood of Lafayette, Louisiana, I want to say, and I was trying to get to the Greyhound station. This was when I was heading like from Texas to Florida. I felt like I was going through a bad neighborhood. Like I hadn't seen anybody yet, but I had that vibe.
Mhm.
And I'm really, 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 sensitive to energies around me. I guess like in the environment, so to speak, more so than people. But I felt like I was in a bad spot, and I went to this convenience store, and there was people outside that started asking me for change, and then asking me what's in my bag, and then I knew I was in a bad spot. So I'm like, okay. And so I sat with my little music speaker outside that store, away from these couple of people that were still hanging around, and I just meditated. I put on some Zen music and I meditated, brought my vibe all the way back up. And as soon as I stood up, a cop car basically cuts me off and stops me from walking any further. And he gets out, and here's the point where I'm going, oh, here we go. I'm gonna get messed with, right? Well, he gets out. He goes, "Hey, wait, who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've watched a lot of First Amendment audit videos, and I know I don't have to answer that question. But I read this man, and I'm like, you know what? Something tells me he's actually a genuine dude. So I told him what my name was and where I was going, and he's like, "Oh man, you don't want to walk in this neighborhood like that far." He's like, "Let me take you." Dude saved me a good 2 hour walk through like what I felt was like bad energy. So that kind of stuff that's just one of so many things that's happened that was like God sends to help push me further along to my destination, like for free. Like it didn't cost me an Uber or it didn't cost me danger or you know what
Right.
I mean? Um, when I got here, panhandling was something I had to do before I could get things like a bike. Now I have a bike. I have let me show you. I had nothing but a backpack think I had just a backpack or maybe two backpacks, and just had clothes and my glow sticks. I was gonna perform out here and a little tiny speaker. Now, what I have is an entire bicycle, beach chair, which I got for free on my birthday, a whole like two kid seater carrier, complete with an AC power charging station in there, huge speaker. I mean, I have paints in there. I'm actually out here painting rocks now, painting rocks for money. I made
Right.
$98 between me and my friend the other day painting rocks. I've never
There you go.
painted it in my life. It's the fourth day of me
Wow.
painting rocks, and I'm killing it. So like there's these things that intuition has told me like do this, and I'm like okay. So I have a painter friend who's painting canvases out here, and I'm like, hey, I want to paint rocks. Something, something's telling me to paint rocks. And for about 4 days, I'm thinking, I need to paint some damn rocks. And then this guy shows up in my life, and he ends up, he was actually just trying to bum a lighter. And he comes over to me, and I give him my lighter, and we start talking. And he pulls out this painted rock, and he says, yeah, I've been painting rocks for a couple of weeks now and leaving them in places. And I'm like, whoa, like synchronicity. I'm like, dude, let's paint rocks together and make some money. And he was like, make money, really? I was like, yeah. First day we did that, he made $25 on a Pokemon rock he painted. Super easy Pokemon ball rock. So
Nice.
he was like, light bulb went off, Jeezy. It was great. So now, we picked it up, we've made a good bit of money. Um, I'm looking at, I have no other real needs. I have everything that I need out here. I have everything I want out here. I have nothing but free time. I wake up on the beach. It's been so beautiful. And what I do out here, not aside from selling rocks, I've been helping other homeless people since I got here. The first thing I really did was explore the city. And I found these people at the bank, these ladies at the bank, wonderful people. Accidentally kind of stumbled in there. What is this? Some kind of Zoom pop up for upgrading something. So anyway, I found these ladies at the bank when I went to go get some water, and they were real nice. And they said that they feed the homeless. They try to give people bags and things, food bags, snack bags. And they asked me if I would do that because it's hard for them to come out here and try to figure out who's homeless. And they don't want to ask people, "Are you homeless? Are you hungry?" Like, yeah. So I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, I'll do that. I know the people out here now. So I'm helping feed the homeless up and down the boardwalk. And one of the things I said on my YouTube channel that I wanted to do, Jeezy, was be out in the darkest places of the world where people have nobody and be that light, that light. And really for the people that have nobody left, people that need to be lifted out of whatever funk they're in, I want to try to help those people. And so what I found myself doing 2 weeks ago, I was um I was seeing this older man. He was 54, and he was limping, and he had a wound on his ankle. And he was a 54-year-old vet, like an army vet or something. And he had a bad, festering, pussing, nasty looking wound. I was spraying antiseptic on it, bandaging his wounds. Complete stranger. I'm not a medic. I don't. It's just me helping out another human. And that's when it hit me in the face, Jeezy, that I'm doing that now. Like this guy doesn't have any family out here that cares about him. This guy doesn't have any friends out here that care about him. He's been limping around out here for at least a week like that. And I'm the guy that's like, dude, let me help.
Hmm.
And the next day or two later, same guy is laying in the bushes sleeping in the morning. We sleep in the bushes, some of us. And I wake him up and say, hey man, good morning. And I start talking to him. All of a sudden he has a full blown seizure. Full blown seizure. Like his eyes roll back in his head, his fingers curl up, he's making this weird noise I've never heard a human make. And I was like, I've never experienced that before in my life. But I knew what it was. I'm not a fool. So intuition told me what to do. Like lift his head, turn his head so he can breathe. I grabbed my phone with the other hand and I'm dialing 911. I got that man the ambulance. I got him. They got him seizure medicine. They fixed his ankle. I saw him 10 days later, walking just fine. Had the light in his eyes again. You know. The unfortunate part though, Jeezy, he was on his way to the liquor store. just to screw himself back up again, you know?
Mhm.
So I've helped not only him with that, I've helped the guy get in touch with his caseworker. He was calling this number on my phone for at least a week and a half, maybe almost 2 weeks. Couldn't get a hold of this lady that was supposed to call my phone back, never would call my phone back. I decided one day that let me call the number for you, man. Let me see what you're hearing on the other end. I don't know what I did different, but I got a voice and I said, "Hey, let me put you through to the guy that needs to get a hold of you." And as soon as I did, they talked it out, whatever they needed to do. I kind of like told her what the case was, what this guy needed from her, totally facilitated it, and then he filled in all his gaps with his name and his birthday, all that kind of stuff. So I helped the man get a hold of his caseworker, and now he gets $200 a week. Just stuff like that, Jesus.
Right.
Things that I can do anytime there's an opportunity to walk through a door to help somebody. I walk through that door because I've got jack else to do. And I know that when I walk, the more doors I walk through, the more doors are open for me. More my energy is lifted, my vibe is raised, and I get blessed. I wake up in the morning and I'll stand up from my beach chair, fold my blanket, and get handed $10 from a random person that says good morning. That's
Right.
beautiful. Another jet coming.
There's another one. God bless them all.
So so those opportunities, I go through those doors as often as I can because that's my mission here. Right now, I know that's at least part of my mission here to help some of these people, like I said, that have nobody and that really need it. But the problem is obvious that you cannot just help everybody because
Right.
I've helped people hurt themselves. Like, like that's a weird thing. I've enabled people to just hurt themselves by helping someone. They end up just going having more fuel to go back and hurt themselves, go back to drinking again or something. It's like
Hmm.
uh it's hard. It's hard to figure out who to help because you just don't know what they're gonna do with it. Um so yeah, that's an interesting aspect of being out here and trying to do this mission. And yeah, do you have any questions at this point? Felt like I've talked like way too much. Um, what are your questions?
Well, you're doing great. I mean, it's amazing. You're helping a bunch of people out. You're following your mission. You're following your heart, following your gut. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's when you know what you're doing, when life speaks to you and you go and follow it through, and you're that's what you're doing, and you're happy, and you're helping people. And if that's your calling and your mission, part of your mission, wherever it's taking you, that's the whole point. Let me ask you this: how long have you been doing this?
So I think this is like the 2 month mark, maybe 2.5 months now that I've been
Okay.
fully homeless. Yeah.
Great. And I mean, and you pretty much you left your home in Louisiana, you said?
Yeah, I left from Louisiana and went to Texas first. I thought I was gonna go to the beach first, one of the beaches in Cali. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, Texas was the door that was open first because a friend of mine said, "No, you're not going there." And her husband ended up walking through the door and asked what was going on and said, "Tell him come here." And she had already had plans to like start a garden and invite people that do Reiki and energy stuff like me and her fellow truthers. She wants to start and still does want to start a community of truthers to kind of, when stuff hits the fan, that's going to be our zombie apocalypse sport, right?
Right.
So, and I'm still invited back there. We left on good terms when I left to go to, Florida. We left on good terms. I can go back there and literally build a cabin in their property. anywhere I want, just be off grid. If that's what I want next, I have that in my back pocket. So really good people out there in Texas still love me. I've made a lot of really really good. I can't even really call them friends. I call them family. From doing my
Right.
show, doing my YouTube channel back in 2015. Um, so a lot of them have been following this journey and helping me every now and then. That's why I have a bike and a the trailer and everything like that. I'm spinning my glow sticks for money. I'm painting rocks for money. I, I get I get fed very um, often. If I put hungry on my box, I get food all day. It's amazing the things that I've learned and what I'm trying to do, what I want to do for other people out here, especially the people that are giving. I want to figure out how to give back. But that's an interesting puzzle, Jeezy,
Right.
because a lot of these people, I I'm trying. The energy exchange is interesting. Some of it's very positive and very smiley, and some of it is like with this sense of pity or like sense of like obligation. Like there's all this different energy in the exchange when people drop money in the box or
Looks
money in
like,
their hand.
hold on, Neo. It looks like the what is this thing called? The Zoom is saying we got less than a minute left. What's your YouTube so people know? Is how can people follow you?
So my YouTube channel is the Horry Sheet Show. It's Horry sheet like a sheet of paper. Horry Sheet Show, and I talk about conspiracies on that, Reiki, all kind of stuff. Lately, I haven't been streaming too much because this has been a lot. It's hard enough just to get Wi-Fi, but we'll have to do this again. Maybe figure out a way past the limit.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, we'll try to do more. I'll definitely I'll find your YouTube, link it up. Thank you very much for coming on and keep doing you. It's amazing that just follow your mission, follow your path. We'll do our best to follow